sad. I wanna make it cool again. I know you're feeling bad. Tell me when you're cool again.
So I wrote a chart because we were playing with the, it was kind of my job in the studio, because I acted as kind of as empty or whatever. I would write charts and give it to all musicians. And then we had the same piece of paper, even David had the same piece of paper, and we could point to the middle bit and play it, you know, because David works very fast, and I realized that over the years, you don't get a lot of time, so it's important to be able to, like, if somebody wants to work on a part, say, can we run that section, you know? Because the next time you're going to play it through, they might be recording. And, you know, if that's your shot, you kind of want to feel like, okay, here's what I'm going for here. Let me just figure it out a little bit. Let me dial in a sound, and boom, and then we're off. And then if somebody counts it off, we'll go from the top. So, so the charts again is, you can see on this one that I've written out the verse A and the verse B, which are really the only two sections. And then the rest are just, you know, the sections, and that giant 8 is 8 bars, you know, and I'll put that in just a bar count, because it gives you the sense of like the length of the piece, or 16 bars, or 7 bars sometimes, because there'll be a different chord leading to a different section, but you can, if you put a 7 in and then write the chord, the 8th chord in, the 8 bar in, it's an easy way, again, for your chart. It doesn't have too much information on it, but you can read it and it's clear. But anyway, so the idea behind the song was, I had this tuning, and I thought we could, you know, with this line. So we had, and it, you know, it obviously turned into this song, and it was great to see, you know, Tony Lavin on bass, and he played the stick on it, and, you know, Tony's a legend, and he's really responsible for a lot of that Peter Gabriel sound. If you don't know who he is, he's played with everybody from John Lennon, Peter Gabriel, he may be most famous for, but his on his website, his discography is kind of like it's like a spreadsheet, and it just goes from A to Z, and it's like, you know, 76 pages or something, you know, it's crazy. Anyway, it was great to see it come together. The other thing, that device that I used when I was kind of working on this song was that I thought, okay, it's, you know, this C minor tuning, which is nice, but it's a, like, think of it as a Dorian mode, and I think there are a lot of, do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say a mode? Maybe some of you do, some of you don't. If you take a C major scale, the white notes on the piano, you start on C and you end on C, we call that a major scale. It's also called an Ionian mode. If you just displace that and started on a D and ended on a D, you've shifted the intervals, especially the semitones in the scale, and now you have a minor, and it's also called a Dorian, and so forth. The E is the Phrygian, the F is the Lydian, the G is the Mixolydian, the A is the Aeolian, and the B is the Locrian. Don't get much call for Locrian around these parts. It's a bit of an odd one. But the Phrygian is really nice. It's got the semitone there. But what's interesting to me is I think a lot of folk music and a lot of rock and roll is really modal in terms of the way it rather, because minor keys, there's various kinds of minors, and a lot of them I found didn't really serve rock and roll, where people just kind of like do what their ear tells them to do. But generally, it works out to be a mode, you know. But what was interesting to me was that if we make chords based around this, when we get to this chord, if we keep it true, we have a flattened fifth. So if you move in fifths, so it's got that nice kind of flattened fifth, which is an odd chord. It's generally not really used in rock music very much, I think. But it has a nice, I like it. So it kind of, if I did the... If I didn't stick to the mode, and if I just kind of blocked it out, it would be...